listening to Bearcat Insider with everybody's favorite assistant coach Travis Marsh, and I'm Chance Kirby. Now to the show.
All right, ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bearcat Insider, Boyd edition. I'm Chance Kirby's sidekick.
Wow, what a trip and fall open that is.
I'm Chance Kirby's sidekick, Coach Marsh, and I'm here with Chance, real estate coordinator extraordinaire, whatever you are. Here we are. This is about how this week has gone.
Man, are we in the school auditorium today?
All right, we're good.
Okay. Well,
so
much better.
What you got for me is we've started this thing with an absolute train wreck.
Man. Well,
what's fitting for what we're about to talk about, this open just fits right in.
Yeah, man, where do you want to begin? We obviously don't have a run sheet.
Okay, well,
I know you're in a panic because I brought in a sharp pencil and a bunch of papers, and I know that always makes you nervous.
Let's start with the facts.
Okay, give us the facts there, Car 54.
We
for all of you really olds.
Yeah, so we
look it up on Google, kids.
We dropped the homecoming to Boyd 35-28. Did I get my score correct this week?
Yeah, that's actually the second homecoming in a row that we have scheduled Boyd and lost. I want to be clear on what I'm saying.
So let's stop scheduling Boyd for homecoming. I know it was kind of unavoidable this year. It fit the best because you don't want to do it in August whenever it's 5 million degrees,
and you don't want to do it the last game of the year
because
that's
have
senior night.
Yeah, so I mean it was the logical place to put it.
And sadly, you can't argue facts, but the result would have been the same regardless. If you're avoiding senior night, we would have had an L no matter what home game we would have chosen this year. No, factually. We haven't won a home game.
Yeah, we have one left. But
we're not making it on senior night.
You're right. So that's kind of where we are. We see 2-6 on the season.
Yes, sir.
Have 2 more shots at it. We're still mathematically alive for the playoffs. I'm not going to dive into all of the math.
I was just about to ask, too.
The biggest thing right now is if we do not go 1-0 this week, it does not matter.
Okay. So, step one.
And we're in a must-win.
Win.
If any hope of the playoffs, we are in a must-win this week. And so I hope the gravity of that is not lost on everyone involved, that we have to make it happen if we are going to have any shot at the postseason from this point forward. The Peaster Greyhounds have to take the L in Peaster, 7:30 Friday night.
All right. And I see that there's a potential for rain.
Yeah.
And it's a grass field, so it could be interesting.
It is grass field.
Have you guys done anything this week? Do you change anything for that?
No, you worry about yourself.
Okay.
I mean, our kids they've practiced on grass so much over the course of their career. That's nothing new. It's not going to be a shock. But right now I think the most important thing is where can we get the best practice for the Bearcats, regardless of the conditions. What can we do to make practice the best for us? And so Massey Stadium has been the answer, and I think that's a fantastic answer because we're blessed with a turf field.
Yeah, thanks to that Boyd homecoming loss before this one. Had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I know. We talked about it at length last cast. So what's our first order of business?
Well, I'd say let's just dive right into the game.
Yeah.
And it started out kind of frightening.
It started off poorly.
Yeah.
I think we spotted them 14. Is that correct?
I thought they scored 7. No, I don't have it in front of me. They only have our scores, but I think they went up 7-0 and then or 6-0, missed the extra point.
Yes.
And then one play.
Yeah, and then we went 7-6, didn't we?
Yeah, one play, 48 yards, Wyatt to 8, touchdown.
And there it is, slant. Ashton Kirby takes it, and he's going to the house. Homecoming King gets in the end zone, and the Bearcats answer back in one play, 48-yard touchdown from senior to senior. Wyatt Smith to Ashton Kirby, and the Bearcats tie it up and are an extra point away from taking the lead.
Yeah, and that's just a good pass, good good catch, and he's just faster than everybody.
Yeah,
And he ran away from him, and Pay Dirt kicked the extra point because Elias is really good at doing that. And we go up 7-6.
And that was a pretty stout wind he was kicking against.
It was. And it was a no-doubter, which,
Yeah.
I mean, it should be. But,
Well,
and then if we I think at that point we're done for the first half, aren't we?
no, we're done for the first quarter as far as Pilot Point.
Okay.
We scored in every quarter.
Well,
Scored
fantastic.
4 touchdowns, scored in every quarter. So, yes, I believe then it was Boyd went out to a 2-touchdown lead. I think it was 21-7
No,
at the end of the first quarter.
it was 20-7.
Yeah, keep forgetting that extra
They
point.
didn't make it. They didn't equalize it until they went for 2 to make it 35-28.
Yeah.
Other than that, they were chasing. They were a point behind the entire time as far as just football math goes. And the second touchdown, number 8 again.
Fake punt. The formation had a little twist on it that I hate to call out y'all's onside kick the week before and saw something suspicious. Then I saw something suspicious in this punt. And
I mean, I said it in the pregame, the last 3 times we've played, Pilot Point's won by an average of 27
we're going with the fake
points.
right here, Ryan.
There's the fake punt.
It's there.
Aston's going to make
It's
the
there.
catch.
Let's go.
And he breaks a tackle.
That's what we needed.
And, hey, pulling
Get in
it
there.
out at the end. And Aston Kirby, who else? Who else? I mean, really, 66-yard touchdown.
sure enough, 8 down the sidelines. Amazed that he caught it because there was a guy literally standing in front of him. Why that guy didn't blow him up, I have no idea. But instead, 8 lowered his head, hit that guy, and then took it down the sidelines.
Then just outran everybody again. Little in and out move there at about the 10-20 yard line, somewhere in that area. But what's going to get lost in that? Of course, Aston gets credit for the catch in traffic and this and that. That throw by Wyatt was unreal.
It had to drop into the perfect space.
Literally, you were dropping it into a bucket.
Yeah.
And that's the phrase that's used. But that is definitely, and he had a very, very, very small window and a very specific trajectory that it had to be at. And as we're kind of accustomed to, he delivered. And so, it's one of those plays you had to have. And, kudos to Coach Peacock for making the call on saying, hey, let's fake punt it, because that is one of those things that if you make it and we convert it, you're a hero. And then if we didn't convert it, we'd be talking about why would you do that in that field position, this and that. So it's a boom or bust type of play, but it's the plays that like that you have to have the fortitude to make that call if you're going to put yourself in a position to win, because we needed the momentum terribly.
Yeah.
And so hats off to Coach Peacock. I thought it was a great call. I think that sometimes you have to be able to take the risk. Scared money don't make money. So
I've heard that. Similar saying, not exact that way, but I'll leave the one I heard.
You risk it for the biscuit. Can we go with that?
No, I like those. I like all those.
Good.
And later in the game, actually being a voice of the people, and I can share with you guys what I hear. The other special teams risk. Some people questioned, well, why did we do that? Well, of course they questioned it because it didn't work.
I would assume that we're going to talk about the onside kick at that point.
Not so much talk about it, but when you said that people love it because it worked, and it made me immediately think of, well, people question that one because it didn't.
That was about 6 inches from working.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just part of it. But at that point, and this isn't talking bad about anybody, this is just the facts, is our defense hadn't really just been on fire up to that point. I mean, we'd had limited success, but not consistent success, stopping their offense. And so, if you have the opportunity to possibly steal a possession, why not? And then what we found out is I don't think they scored off of that possession.
Well, I honestly don't remember. I've blocked it out. But this is going to be one of many times today you're going to be able to point out what a football moron I am.
I like to do that. I'm
not opposed to the onside kick. Like, go back to the Ponder game. I could make the argument, and you could tell me where I was wrong, that we should onside kick every time to shorten the field and the time, because if they're going to score anyway, to allow us more time to then get our thing done.
Yeah, it's just one of those. It's a calculated risk, and that's the way you have to look at it. Is you have to look at it and you have to say, I'm going to risk field position with the possibility of getting the ball back.
And we're trying to win the game.
And then you look at their kickoff returns. Most of their kickoff returns had gone to within about 10 yards of where they ended up getting the ball anyway.
Yeah.
So why not give ourselves a chance to add a possession?
We're back to kicking against that win.
Yeah, exactly. And so I thought it was a great call. Wish it would have worked out, and then we'd be sitting here talking about how we're geniuses, but we're not.
I'd have still brought up what happened if we didn't get it.
But so third quarter, Wyatt punches it in.
I'm trying to go quick. Under center, Wyatt Smith.
Let's punch it in here, Gage.
Snap. Quarterback sneak. Just keep the feet churning. Keep them churning. Chugging along.
I think he's in.
And they're going to mark him short.
Just short.
Golly, yeah, he's just moving the feet. Touchdown!
Oh.
Whoa! Range of wild.
4 yards, but it was set up by a perfect passing catch by Rangel. I hate that he didn't get in, but he got us right where we needed to be.
Again, it was just one of those things where it was a fantastic catch, fantastic, run, and got as far as he could. And I'm just glad that we got in. We cashed in on a fantastic play call.
It was a very long, delayed touchdown call by the ref. If you'll recall, he strolled in from the side and kind of looked around, and then
and that's down the stretch. Down the stretch, the officials made some decisive calls.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say they cost us the game, because that's not fair to them. Because we had opportunities that we did our very best to not put ourselves in a position. But whenever they went down to a four-man crew, their mechanics got really, really messed up. And that caused the delayed call there. You have a guy that's normally you have two line judges. I think they went down to one line judge and rotated somebody to the back judge, and so it gets murky. And then the mechanics of it, you had a back judge that called offsides on us.
Yeah, which the angle
that's not his call, and it's not that it didn't happen. It's that's just not your call. You don't make that call. The line judge makes that call.
Yeah,
and
to me, you defer to the line judges.
And the line judges kept their flags in their pockets.
Yeah.
And then I thought that Wyatt's pass interference was pretty tic-tac. I'm not going to say he didn't pass interfere. I'm just going to say in that tight of a ball game, that you can call what he called pass interference. You could literally call that almost every pass play down the field.
I'm not opposed to him calling that, but there was a time that it should have been called when Crew was trying to catch a ball.
And it was after he had made that call.
And there was, I know, and also I believe it was the last play of the game where looked to those like Wyatt just threw it out to nowhere. 8 was completely tackled
he was
on the play.
He was collisioned about 15 yards downfield.
But why not if you're Boyd? Worst case, it's 15 yards and
make him do it all over again. Yeah, but it's a first down.
Yeah.
Then that would have been huge.
Yeah.
And that's my complaint with officials normally.
Consistency.
Is consistency. Because whenever you call that flag on Wyatt, you have now defined that as pass interference in your book. Mm-hmm. That is pass interference to you personally.
In the game, for sure. Yeah.
By the rule, not by the rule, whatever. You have defined it. So now you have to apply those same rules for pass interference that you just used. You have to apply them on the other side of the ball as well. And that's when I get really frustrated and have one of my trademark tirades against the referees on the field.
It's not good for your blood pressure.
As we all know. But, and then the fourth quarter, 8 scores again.
He definitely just sat down.
Yeah, exactly.
Snap, straight drop, has some time, looking deep post. Laster Kirby catches
got it.
40, 30. They're not going to catch him, and the Bearcats are going to take the lead.
Blow that horn now.
Austin Kirby, another huge play.
Third one of the game. It was a 65-yarder.
Yeah, just got behind the D-back.
He did. I called a touchdown before the snap because it was an adjustment that that Coach Keith Peacock had seen at halftime, and it was a play that he had kind of circled of thinking, this one I think is a shot play, and I think with the way that Boyd is playing us, it will work. And he dialed it up, and it worked out exactly how we hoped it would whenever we talked about it at halftime. And so ultimately, when it comes down to it,
and to reshuffle, that's where we took the lead, then kicked the onside kick.
Yes.
And then they got the ball, scored, and we got the ball back, which is the position you want to be in. Get the ball back with a chance to go down there.
I mean, here's you don't want to circle one play, and it's not a circled play that's negative against us, because I would go with that onside kick every time.
Yeah.
I would not change that call. Going back, I would not change it.
Well, that goes back to, I know I'm a time guy. If you onside kick there and they go down and score, you still have time on the clock to go down and tie the game.
And then the other side of the coin is, if we get it there,
we shut it down.
That's ball game.
What's the Green Bay guy say? That's your dagger.
Yeah, it is. That's your dagger right there. And so, it sucks. I mean, that's to put it short. It sucks. It sucks to lose. It sucks to lose on homecoming. It sucks to lose to Boyd. It sucks to lose by giving up the lead in the last quarter.
It sucks to have to depend on math to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, we had a chance this week that it was in firmly in our control. You win that game against Boyd. All you have to do is go to Peaster. I say all you have to do like it's just easy. At that point, the last piece of the puzzle is you go to Peaster on Friday night, you win, and we're in. It doesn't matter what happens in any other game. And, that's the frustrating part, is that it sucks because now we have given up control of our destiny by
giving that control to Boyd.
Yeah, Boyd. What's Boyd going to do? What's Peaster going to do? Now mathematically part of the equation is if we beat Brock on senior night, we're in again for sure. However, I don't want that to be part of the equation because, like I said last week, it's not that we can't beat Brock. If we beat Brock, it's going to be considered an upset.
Yeah, because a team that has 2 wins does not have the expectation from anyone to beat Brock.
Yeah, and people are going to look at Brock's record and say, oh, they're 4-4 right now, this and that. And I would challenge you to go look at those 4 losses and who they played. And you throw out Wichita Falls Hershey versus Graham because that was a crap show because of everything that went down with it. They lost to quality opponents that are going to have deep playoff runs.
Yeah.
They beat Whitesboro on one of the most exciting high school football games you'll ever see that went down to literally the last play.
I think something exciting happened in Paradise, too. I don't even know how that ended.
I know that there was a field goal attempt, I think, to tie it up, and it was missed, but there was a roughing the kicker that gave them a first down, and then they went in and scored, I think.
Okay.
It was something, you're right. But, that's a good football team. It's a beatable football team. Why? Because we have to play the game. That's why they're beatable. But it's really frustrating that we kind of...
Was it the last time they were in Pilot Point? No, last time was last year. I apologize.
No, it was 2 times ago where we upset them.
Yeah.
And different roster for them, different roster for us, but it's doable. I think a lot of it is going to come down to, how do we approach the game? Are we beat before the first snap, or are we going to go in there like a good old Bearcat would and expect that we're going to shock the world? So we still have not done anything regarding all of your paperwork that I'm looking at. So let's take a quick break.
And we're going to go over stats.
And then we'll go over stats, and then we'll go over...
I'm going to put myself up on a tee and let you just tell me what a football moron I am. But I've brought a lot of evidence.
That's great. All right, let's hear from CS Designs real quick.
Are you looking to build that dream home or barn-dough? CS Designs offers a complete range of design services. CS Designs products range from general drawing services to commercial and residential blueprints, as well as 3D renderings and virtual reality walkthroughs. Let Cole Stewart and the CS Design team design you a beautiful progressive home or building that translates your ideas into an outstanding reality. Visit their website at csdesignstx.com or give them a call at 940-365-4048.
All right, big thank you to CS Designs for bringing this post-game show. In CS Designs, they take care of all your design needs, whatever it is, whatever project it is, big, small. They're very much up to the task to help you get it designed and see your dreams become a reality. So, speaking of dreams becoming a reality, let's hear some stats.
Okay, it's an interesting lead-in. Leading passer, Wyatt Smith, 11 of 27 for 292 yards, 3 TDs.
Not the completion percentage you want. I think if you asked Wyatt, that's not the completion percentage he would want. But
40.7.
Overall production, was there. As far as
I don't understand really how QBR works, because 11 of 27, I'm with you. You think, wow, that's kind of low, but I guess because 3 of the 11 were touchdowns, that's why.
I don't know the exact formula, but you have to take into account yards per completion, yards per attempt. So what was his total yardage?
292.
So 292, 11, you're looking at, almost
26.5.
Okay, 26.5.
I read that, didn't do it in my head.
And then yards per attempt with 290-something and 27, you're a little over 10 yards per attempt. And so, those metrics aren't bad. The completion percentage is the bad part. But, other than that, it's a solid game. Like I said, no turnovers. That's the biggest thing. Not throwing interceptions really helps that QBR.
Yeah, he's I know he threw one against Ponder, but he's not an interception guy.
He does a really good job of not throwing it to the other team.
And that's
important. He wasn't aided by, our receivers dropped 3 passes deep down the field behind the defense. One, of course, everybody's always used to the way that we do it. One was to Aston across the middle going left to right. And then Colin and Crew both dropped one going right to left that were, substantial passes. I'm not going to say that they're guaranteed touchdown balls, but they were deep balls that really would have helped whenever we needed them. And so, it is what it is.
All right, moving on. Gage, the Iron Man, 15 carries, 66 yards, average 4.4, had the longest run at 28.
It's good average. I mean, of course, you skew the numbers when you say, hey, let's go for 14 carries minus his longest carries, and that's probably a more realistic picture. But I thought he had a great workmanlike performance. Ran hard, protected the ball, came up with some big conversions kind of along the way. I think
he does everything we ask him to do.
Yeah, maybe above.
Yeah.
Because very rarely does the first man tackle Gage.
Yeah.
He usually is good for making one man miss, especially the first guys, usually on skates. So, Gage, he does a fantastic job. And like I said, that was a workmanlike performance. If he would have found the end zone, which that's not his fault that he didn't, the game just didn't really present itself as him getting in the end zone. You tell me, hey, it's going to be 15 carries for 66 yards and a touchdown. That's a great game at the office. So, I have no problems with Gage's output there.
Receiving, number 8, 8 catches, week 8. It's weird, a lot of 8s. 235 yards, 3 TDs, sorry.
The plays that don't come on the stat sheet are non-touchdowns. Of course, touchdown catches. So he had 3 of his 8 catches were touchdown catches. 2 of them were all 3 of them were long actually. He made an incredible catch going left to right. Wyatt was rolling out to his right, and he came all the way across the field and did his Aston stuff, which is somehow magically work the sideline and come up with a catch. And it's things like that are special about Aston, his ability to find an open spot and make a tough catch. That might not necessarily mean it's a touchdown, but just it extends the drive. That's invaluable. It really is. He's closing on 1,000 yards on the season. He's currently at 922, I do believe. And so, it's one of those things where he's so productive. And I think that, we have a little bit of a hidden gem right here in Old Pilot Point, Texas, with the Wyatt to Aston connection.
Yeah, it's working out.
Yeah.
Tackles. Colin hit a milestone of 15 tackles, 8 solo, 7 assists.
he's done a good job adapting to a new position and a new role, and it's not an easy role. I know everybody says, "Oh, well, he's just sitting back there at safety," and what is asked for him is a Herculean task. It really is. He's got to be a run fit as well as a deep fit in the passing game, and it's tough. I mean, he does a solid job for us.
And then Kel was second with 12, and then Junior had 11. Defensive statistics. Gage had one caused fumble, and then Crew with 2 interceptions and 2 very important, timely interceptions.
Yeah, one was in the end zone.
Yeah.
Much needed. It's a good one, especially whenever they were throwing to number 14, because he had proven over the course of the season he was their go-to guy. And I thought we did a pretty decent job of neutralizing him.
We took him away, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't remember if he ever found the end zone or not. But I know that for the most part he had a reduced impact on the game than he had against other opponents.
He found it twice, but he only had 2 catches, 66 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
One of them was
both in the first quarter, I believe.
One of them was a long screen down the left side, and the other one was kind of a little bit of a crossing route into the middle. Now that you say it,
flashback.
It all comes back, and so obviously, I wish we hadn't given up the 2 touchdowns, but 2 for 64 with that kid's not bad.
No, for what he'd been doing throughout the year.
All right, now before we dive into your notebook of whatever in the world I'm about to have to listen to, let's take one more break, and then we'll let you bring us back, and we'll get to Chance business.
Are you looking to build that dream home or barn-dough? CS Designs offers a complete range of design services. CS Designs products range from general drawing services to commercial and residential blueprints, as well as 3D renderings and virtual reality walkthroughs. Let Cole Stewart and the CS Design team design you a beautiful progressive home or building that translates your ideas into an outstanding reality. Visit their website at csdesignstx.com or give them a call at 940-365-4048. Okay, everybody, we're back. Travis is right. I did bring in, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of paper filled out on both sides, as well as a Office Max tablet with 2 pages filled out. And he always gets nervous when I walk in there like this, but it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. And you enjoy those as much as I do, of trying to fight you and prove you wrong, and then you...
I know we don't keep a record of this, but I think this might be the largest mound of evidence you've ever come in here with.
It has, because, as usual, I'm a numbers guy. I want things to make sense. I want things to be balanced. And I don't like things that are out of place or anomalies. So... during the cast, John and Ryan mentioned, I believe it was in the second half, how much we ran on first down. And when I heard that, I thought, well, that can't be right. Not that John and Ryan don't know what they're talking about, but that just can't be right. And then I thought back to, I went to the Texas game, and every play, it seemed like Texas Tech handed off on first down. And then the crowd would get mad and say, that's all we ever do. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to watch a lot of video, take a lot of notes, and I'm going to prove John and Ryan wrong, because they will love that. And so I have brought the evidence. So here we go. Before we get into that, if I told you that we were going to go to WinStar, what would you consider a sure thing? And don't tell me 100%. Like if WinStar offers you, you'll win this, which they don't.
So are you trying to figure out what is my percentage of risk?
Yeah, if I say you're going to win 6 out of 10 times, is that worth you putting your money on? Or is it 7 out of 10?
How much money am I putting?
I'm just saying, what...
I'll just throw it
and here you go.
$500?
No, anything. You throw up your first shield on me already. What do you... And I know, like I said, it's not 100%, but if you were going to be like, man, is it 90% for you? Is it 80%, 70? Because to me, it's not 60. If you're going to tell me you're going to win it 6 out of 10 times, I'm not interested. You say 7, I get a little more interested. But if you tell me that I'm going to win 8 or 9 out of 10 times, I'm getting really, really interested.
I'm kind of like you. I think if you give me 60%, so 6 out of 10,
yeah,
I'm going to start. I'll put my toe in the water a little bit, and it'll start So how much am I going to win? That's where the process will start.
Correct. Because someone says, "Oh, it's a coin flip," I never get excited about that.
At 80%, I'm in.
Okay.
That's without a doubt. So I guess my threshold is somewhere between 60 and 80.
60 and 80. I'm in the ballpark with you.
Great. I don't. If I just helped your argument, can I change my answer?
No, you didn't help my argument, but I want to know. I would like to know what other people think, and then I haven't even got into coaching yet, because we all know, as you hear me turn the page, we're all aware that I'm not a football coach. Let me disarm you before you say that. I don't know anything about football. Again, all I am is a numbers guy, and I like percentages, and I like things to balance. As much to my chagrin as I have to give the nod to Ryan and John, we ran out of our first downs. We had 18 first downs plays, meaning it was first down and we had the ball 18 times in the Boyd game. We ran it 78% of that time.
So that 15 of 18?
Well, I got to go to a different page, but it was 78%. As you all have to listen to me. That is 14.
14 of 18.
14 of 18.
Okay.
So, to me, again, knowing nothing about football, I'm going to keep saying that, as just a betting man.
Okay.
If I'm playing Pilot Point Friday night, I'm like, hey, these guys are going to run. I'm going to stack the run. So, this is where you can tell me I'm a football moron. If I know that we're going to run, if we've proven, and I didn't break it down by half, but if I know we're going to run 8 out of 10 times, and I'm sorry, I'm rounding it up, and I could have missed some plays because I had to watch a lot of film. If I know we're going to do that, then is that possible? That's why Gage does have 15 carries for 60 yards, because we're kind of nodding to the team that this may be what we're going to do? Or am I totally wrong?
Well,
because if you told me, let me say one more thing.
Hold on, I'm still processing.
While you're thinking, because if I'm sitting in the bleachers, know nothing else about football, just a numbers guy, and you say, hey, Pilot Point's got first down, what are they going to do? I'm going to say 8 out of 10 times they're going to run. And then just for more numbers to try to, and I'm not attacking you guys, I'm wanting you to tell me how I'm wrong. That was also 83% of our entire run game in the game was all on first down. So I said, I'm not a scout, but you football guys are way smarter than I am. That, to me, that says it's a sign. And I like balance and all that. Tell me why I'm wrong is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I think there's some general overarching concepts when it comes to football. And then as you dive more into things, or as you talk more about specific details, the specificity of them comes out more and more. A lot of the time in broadcasts, if you watch a lot of NFL games or college football games, they talk about staying on schedule, or things like that, where you're making consistent progress towards a first down. That is what staying on schedule is. So staying on schedule, just in general terms, would be 1st and 10, 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2 conversion. Okay, that's a schedule, so to speak. Now, it's not as clearly defined as that, but that is what staying on schedule is. And so that being an overarching theme in football, the next thing you defer to is your identity as a play caller. And the identity of the play caller comes down to the personal preference of the person who's talking, or who's sending the play down in our case, or who's making a play call in other cases. And so the identity of the play caller is going to show bias towards run or pass.
We're 60% run for the season. I looked that up. And
so,
also, I took out Plainview because that's an anomaly, because we had no passing game due to the injury situation. So I'm only working on 7 games.
Okay.
So we're 60%.
So you have the bias between run or pass. And so now you're diving into the personality of the play caller, and not only their personality, what they're comfortable with, and then you also have to go within their personality on you being a gambler. How risk averse are they? And so when you talk about risk averse and percentage of plays and this and that, if we were talking to Ponder's offensive coordinator, they're throwing the ball. Why? Because that's their identity.
Correct.
That is
I
what
agree.
That's
and Gunner's identity or Bell's is to run.
And so you have those extremes.
Yes.
And so we are somewhere
We're 60-40.
more balanced, but we're skewed towards the run game a little bit.
Yeah.
And so the risk averse part comes with, are you willing to accept 2nd and 10 off of an incomplete pass? Or are you much more, you're better off with 2nd and 8 because of a marginally effective run? You know, and Gage averaged 4.4 yards per carry this past game. So just by using general math, you're going to assume that if we give Gage the ball on first down, just by running the numbers, not diving deep into it, but just with general math, if he's averaging 4.4, you can almost guess we're going to be at a 2nd and 6 using Gage's, the bona fide stats that are there. And so 2nd and 6 puts you in a much better situation than 2nd and 10. And that just goes back to the personality of the play caller. Is he willing to accept knowing the predictability of a 78% run on first down? And you said that 80% of our run game was on first down, which means that 80% of the time we were averaging 4.4 yards per carry on first down. The risk adverse, just the personality of the play caller says that he's going to run the ball because he wants a 2nd and manageable as opposed to 2nd and 10. Because once you get 2nd and 10, now all of a sudden it's like, okay, I have to get a bigger chunk now, which changes your play call, and it narrows down your playbook a little bit more, as opposed to 2nd and 6, you still have your whole playbook available to you because you're on schedule. And man, if Gage were to pop a run and it's 2nd and 2, now we're talking about taking a shot because it's 2nd and short, so you don't have as much to get on third down. But you also run the risk of a 2nd and 8, which isn't too much different than a 2nd and 10. And so it's not as cut and dry as you would think to it. And then the other part of it is, and this is something that as a former play caller I can tell you, in 2016 at Collinsville, my first play of every game was a set right, power right. Or, well, we called it 46 smash. And I did that for 11 straight games. And so what do you think that the 12th guy at Crawford, what did they think I was probably going to run?
Probably the same thing.
And we ran play action and just about scored. So some of that is a setup deal where you put the percentage there knowing good and well that you want that percentage to be there for that one time that you want to make a big play. You know that defensive coordinator is saying, it's 1st and 10. I know that more than likely they are about to run it, so I'm going to blitz the run. And then you have them in man coverage or you have them vacating a zone, and next thing you know, we're going play action and we have somebody wide open. And so while percentages do favor predictability, being predictable adds credence to the unpredictability of that other 22%, that the 18 of those 18 snaps that we ran 14 times, what if 2 of the 4 that we didn't were long touchdown plays? You've set them
One
up.
of them was a touchdown play. I remember because that was a first down. The 48-yard touchdown pass was
there could be, and I'm not saying that this is the reason, but there could be some credibility to saying we have established that we are a first down run team. Therefore, whenever we pass, it's almost like a trick play because that defensive coordinator plays percentages because that's what they do. They play percentages. They try to make their most educated guess that they can on your offensive play call based off of your previous tendencies. And so it could be that there's this huge master plan that we're going to run the ball to set up first down shots whenever we feel like we have them where we want them.
Okay.
So, and stats like that are alarming. And I think they gather a lot of alarm whenever you're 2-6 because then people start saying, or not people or whatever, but the numbers say, well, you're predictable. Maybe if you weren't so predictable, we wouldn't be 2-8 or 2-6, whatever we are.
I'm not saying that.
Well, I'm not.
Numbers can make any argument. If someone wants to waste 3 days, and I can verify that it's 3 days of watching film, and I even wanted a control group.
And I'm not saying that you are saying that. I'm just saying that losing magnifies anything that can be skewed in a bad way.
Correct. I believe the 92 Bearcats pretty much ran the same play with Brett Renfro running in motion like 8, 9, 10 times in a row some games. Just, we don't care. This is what we're running.
And
stop it.
So I think that, that being said, if we looked back at 2018, 2019, when we went 4 rounds deep, I mean, I venture to say that the rushing percentage might have been higher because of the offensive line and because of who the running back was and who the quarterbacks were. We might have been 92% those years handing the ball to Javon and Ish and having Max and Pitts in the offensive lines we had it, because that's what we were effective at.
So I haven't found some glaring smoking gun that's a nod to all teams that play us on how to shut us down.
I don't think so. I think you've found a wrinkle in the stats that confirms the personality of the play caller.
Okay. So, for those of you listening, or if I was listening to this cast, I would be like, oh, Chance, you picked out one statistic anomaly. You only mentioned Boyd. I have all the games.
You do.
And And I also went and found, because I wanted something to say, well, what's normal? So I went to 2021 NFL season, because they're the only ones that put off all these stats. They're 60% run, and that after 7, 8 games, they had a record, one more win than we do. They were 3-5. So I also ran theirs to see what's normal. And I don't know. I didn't because I didn't want anyone to think, oh, wow, you're accusing us of anything. But I will go over the other games just to, people don't think we don't have to break them down.
Hey, I can promise you that Plainview is like 95%.
I didn't do Plainview.
But I'm just telling you. Point.
Just so they won't think, oh, you just picked a game and you're being mean. Against Ponder, we were 80% run on first down. Paradise, we were 50-50.
Okay.
Balance. Makes Chance happy. I don't know why. I just like things to be,
because in your little world, in the Chance bubble, everything is balanced.
Yeah. Now working backwards, because I have game 4, which was really game 5. Who was that? I don't even remember.
I don't know.
We were 57% run. Game 3, we're 73% run. This is all on first down. Game 2, which was actually game 3. Sorry, everybody that's beating their steering wheel.
That's Farmersville.
This is Farmersville, and this is one I thought was weird because it was 23 first down, 67% run, and I thought that can't be right. So then I went and did it over. 76% of our running plays in Farmersville were on first down. And then something else that just jumped out because I had to watch that one twice and take notes. We never ran on third down the entire game.
I think a lot of
that's a statistic anomaly, but it was weird.
I think you're going to have to look at the down and distance for that game. Because
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, we were not an effective running team that game.
Yeah, I don't have the yards here.
And so whenever you're not running the ball effectively and you run the ball that much on first down, you're going to get to where you end up with more 3rd and 6s, 3rd and 8s behind the sticks, behind schedule. And so therefore you're forced to pass the ball more. And
then it just, so no one thinks, hey, wow, he's saying this because this is where our record is. We beat Callisburg, and we were 70% run. And like we beat Ponder, we were 80% run on first down.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just noticed it. Brian and John brought it up. I just wanted to ask you to explain it. But if we were playing Madden, I'm still stacking the box on first down. I'm going to make you do something different.
I would love to play you in Madden.
Because I'm inviting you to pass on me on first down.
And if that's what you do well, that's when you take your opportunities to do so, because I'm going to confirm your expectation by maybe the first 2 drives of the game doing that, so that you're like, oh, I got him. And then that third one, I'm going to play action and hit you for a deep shot.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Or run the draw, like
somebody
suggested.
That's a popular suggestion from back in yesteryear.
So speaking of draw, is this a draw? I don't think I won this argument,
No,
but I don't feel like I lost.
I think you brought up a valid data point. I just think there's rationales behind it.
Okay.
And you can't argue the numbers. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Now, broadcast this week, we're waiting to hear from Peaster, waiting back. There's an email in over there with their communications director. It was one of our favorite places to broadcast from last year. They were very hospitable, very...
Until this year, we had never been treated better.
Yeah.
They
And
set the standard.
They did. And so looking forward to that. We'll obviously do our best. I don't remember the accommodations exactly, but I do know that weather should be an issue. And so,
Tell your friends, tell everybody that it might rain on us and we can't risk our lives of being all having electronics.
Yeah, well, and I will put out the warning as well is that depending on the accommodations, there's a possibility of worst case scenario it doesn't happen.
Could be audio only.
The next case scenario is audio only.
Could be video only.
And best case scenario is that they accommodate us as well as they have in the past, and we're able to make it work.
Or we have no rain and we're just up there and it's slick.
That'd be even better. But we will be off a hotspot this week. There's not Wi-Fi at the stadium. We do know that.
I'll remember to bring it.
That'll be good because you can't run home and grab it real quick.
No.
And so we look forward to bringing the Peaster game into Bearcat living rooms. It's a little bit longer drive, so I do expect that we will have good viewership. But I really appreciate the home crowd that came out for the Boyd game.
Yeah,
crowd was awesome. It was loud, and I wish we would have put a good show on for them. And we did. We battled, and the kids fought hard. But I wish we would have pulled out the W. But it was really nice to at halftime on my way to the locker room. There was a group of people that I'd been to school with that were lined up to say hello, and it was really nice to see them. And so that's what homecoming is all about here in Pilot Point is not necessarily reconnecting, but just being able to see some of those people that you haven't seen in a while and get a hug and a handshake from them, and it's good. It's good. That's why I love homecoming.
I want to ask the Bearcat Insider listeners to do me a favor. Would you make it a point this week to tell somebody that we have the cast on YouTube? And I know you're thinking if you listen to this, you probably watch them on YouTube and you're like, what are you talking about? It shocks me every weekend to go on Idle Chatter and see how many people do not realize that we have a webcast. I responded to 3 people this weekend that didn't know that we had a webcast. So please, for us and for all Bearcat fans, tell somebody this week, or more than one, that did you know that all the Bearcat games are on YouTube, barring rain and Peaster?
You can even go back and rewatch some of the yesteryear if you'd like.
Relive some glory days on our throwback channel.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as always, look forward to seeing everybody in Peaster. Looking forward to hopefully a Bearcat win so we can stay alive in the playoff hunt. And as always, go Bearcats.